From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live. And boy, oh boy, it is another beautiful day here in the state of California, and I'm down here on the southern side of it. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and let's jump into it very quickly. We got ourselves some pretty good topics to talk about today, but first, let's go ahead and jump into the NFL. And as you guys can see, Shaq, Barrett, and Gronk are returning to the Bucs to run it back, as they say. So pretty much this Bucs team has came together, and these guys cannot wait to get back together and defend that world championship next season. So they got their key defensive player coming back in Shaq Barrett, and they also have the Gronk man coming back to solidify that tight end position. As you guys know, too, they didn't need Gronk to do too much last year, but to be a very feasible tight end. He played the tight end position the way that the tight end position was naturally played for the last 50 years before we ran into all these prototype receiver type tight ends. But Gronk did a great job of blocking, being a leader, and so that's going to be helpful for this team moving forward next season. And then you got Shaq Barrett, who's a very, very instrumental key to this defense, and this defense is just going to stay intact from what it looks like. They still need to sign back Sue if they're going to bring everybody back, but I think that he might be walking. We don't know what that situation will be, but at the end of the day, though, the Bucs are reloading to go ahead and defend that title. They don't want to be a one-off. They want to make this thing work for Tom Brady and try to get him out, get him another ring. But you know what? It's going to be a very difficult run this time around because everybody kind of has an idea of what to expect. But we'll see when we get to that point. But now the Patriots, Tom's former team, they've went ahead and added some key weapons. Nelson Aghalor, wide receiver from the Vegas Raiders. Then you had Kendrick Bourne, former 49er, and also Jonnu Smith, who was, I think, the steal of this group as well, too. The Titans tight end who was scored eight touchdowns last season. He will be a very, very nice weapon for Cam Newton moving forward and everything like that for next season. So when you look at this group, you have a deep threat in Nelson Aghalor, and then you also have a really good receiver, move the chains receiver in Kendrick Bourne. And then Jonnu Smith is just a tight end who can do many things. He can block, he can run, he can go ahead and catch some passes, deep catching passes in the mid-level, and he can come off of screens as well, too. Belichick and McDaniels will have a lot in store for this kid moving forward, and I think that this is going to be a very, very good pickup for the Patriots moving forward, and this will put the Patriots back in a position where they can really say to themselves that, hey, you know what? We got ourselves a real feasible team again, and we can do things that we didn't assume we could do last year. So now they got some weapons, not big weapons, not anybody of big name or anything like that, but these are very consistent players who find their way into the end zone and find their way making big plays. So the Patriots knew exactly what they were doing. They spent the money, and there it is. There goes some 3 new weapons for whomever the quarterback may be. Cam Newton is not a lock to be their starting quarterback next year, but if we look at it today, he would be the starting quarterback. So these are some good weapons for him. Let's see how it shakes out. Let's move forward to the player of the night. And the player of the night is going to be Giannis. And pretty much, you know, guys, is the most difficult last name to say in all the sports. But he did have a triple-double last night. LeBron had a triple-double as well, too. But the thing is, though, LeBron has his own segment here. So that's why we got to go ahead and talk about the player of the night, who was Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know what I mean? I just like to call him the Greek Freak. And man, I'm telling you, that the one thing he should have did when he got to America was change that last name. Giannis Williams would have sounded way better. You know what I mean? So pretty much 34 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. Giannis, two-time MVP, actually playing some really good basketball since he came out the All-Star break and won that MVP award. So, pretty much he looks like he has a point to prove. Milwaukee hasn't been playing great basketball here, but now they are starting to step it up and look like that team that dominated the East last year with the most dominant player in the East last year. So let's see how it goes for Milwaukee. It's still early in the second half of the year, but I think Milwaukee found some type of flow that they can move and work with, and we'll see how it goes. Now, let's go ahead and get into those Lakers, the state of the Lakers. And the state of the Lakers go off last night, score 128 points, only give up 97 for a 31-point victory last night. Absolutely romped the Golden State Warriors, the bitter rivals. And LeBron had himself a triple-double last night, 22, 10, and 11. And then Montrezl Harrell had himself a game as well last night, 27 points with 19 in the first half. And then T.H. Tucker had himself a ball game last night as well, too. 18 points, 4 rebounds, and he was able to get 10 assists. So that was a good little effort from him last night. And then you got the whole crew stepping it up last night and doing what they had to do to, get the Lakers a good, thorough team victory. I did like some things I saw out of James Wiseman last night. He played very active and he played very good basketball last night. Curry was kind of off a little bit last night. And Draymond was doing his usual 6 points per game performance. You know what I mean? Everybody just is so in love with his passing. But you know what? They don't have him on the team to be the point guard. They have him on the team to be a rebounder and to get some buckets. And he don't be getting no bucket. He doesn't get a lot of buckets. I don't think that, pretty much, I think that might be the reason why the team is not moving as fast as they should. But the Warriors, from what I'm hearing, are going to be big time spenders on the draft day. So I'm not draft day, but on trade day. And so that means that they may be getting rid of one of their, stalwarts and things of that nature. I wouldn't say Curry or Thompson, but you know what? Draymond, you might be on the block, baby. I don't know. So pretty much, because I think that's the only player you can even call out that can get you some assets right now, because those other guys, they look like a lot like the Lakers did when Kobe was all by himself the first year around, like the second year of that situation. You know what I mean? When he scored the 81 and things like that. Same type of team it feels like over there with the Warriors, where they're going to get a player or two, but it's going to be about a year or two before they get back to really being on the same level as the Lakers and the Clippers and teams like that. So pretty much the Lakers last night, they needed that win. Now they got 2 wins in a row. Now the birds who are chirping trade this, trade that, they're kind of silencing a little bit. And, pretty much at the end of the day, the Lakers do have to understand, the Lakers already understand this, but the Laker Nation does have to understand AD will be out for another 3+ weeks. Most likely, AD won't be back until mid-April, to be dead honest with you. And I think that's okay at the moment in time, because the Lakers' schedule actually favors them in a sense to where they're not going to be running into that many tough games. But I think that if Andre Drummond or Hassan Whiteside is able to be picked up in this time before you get AD back, that will be very helpful. But when you got a LeBron James, you're okay. Just know that you're okay. You're in a good place. You know what I mean? It's not like when you have other superstars and you hope that, everything works out. When you got a LeBron James, for some odd reason, he can get everybody to play their absolute best when it is needed. And that's exactly what happened last night. And the Lakers, I'm telling you right now, no worries with them. I think the Lakers will probably wind up being maybe the second seed this year when it comes down to the playoffs, but that's okay because the Lakers know what time it is when it's time to win these big games. So with that, State of the Lakers, they'll be back tonight. They got a good game against the Timberwolves at home. Timberwolves going to coming in here. I'm not going to say they're hot, but they've been playing pretty good basketball in the last few games and everything like that. So the Lakers shouldn't overlook them all the way. They'll be coming out to play tonight, but I think that the Lakers will have enough to go ahead and get themselves a nice victory. But they can't slack a minute. They're going to have to play the same exact game they played last night against the Warriors to go ahead and be successful in this spot. All right, so there it is for the state of the Lakers. We'll be back tomorrow talking about the fallout from the Wolves game and what to look forward to next. But that is the state of the Lakers for today. All right, so before we get to our before we get to our break, let's go ahead and talk about 30 teams in 30 days. And this might be by far the worst team that I'm going to talk about all season. Pretty much, the Pittsburgh Pirates do not have much to offer. From their projected lineups, it looks like they're not going to have one guy hit 20 home runs this season. They're not going to have a guy get 100 runs this year, and they're not even going to get close to having a guy having 100 RBIs this year. So this is going to be a really bad team, and you got to understand their ERA, the top ERA in the starting rotation is going to be like 4.93. That's like MLB average, but that's not good for your group that everybody's kind of in the 5-run category. And then your bullpen was really of no name as well, too. So the Pirates will have a really rough ride this year, to be dead honest with you. I hate to say that about the old Bucs, but the thing is, though, they got rid of a lot of their good players a few years ago, and it's really has not helped them moving forward. Now, when you look at the team's 2020 record, they were 19-41. And, dude, it used to be dreadful watching those Pirates games some days because you knew that they were going to lose, but by how much? And so, pretty much now you have a team that's going to be exactly like the team they were last year, but I think they're going to be even worse than they were last year. So, pretty much with that, I don't need to even take that long with the Pirates. Their best player coming back to me is Gregory Polanco, who's an outfielder, 218 batting average, 18 home runs, 60 RBIs, 52 runs. He could be a nice little trade asset in August for a team pushing towards the playoffs and everything like that. But for now, Polanco is a star in a obscure baseball city. So it is what it is, and I don't even think they consider him the star of the team. How can there be any stars on this team when they can barely hit anything out the park? So, man, it is what it is. At the end of the day, the Pirates are going to go under 57.5 wins. They're going to be absolutely atrocious next season, okay? So I don't know how much else to put on it. I don't like the dog teams because I know the Pirates will be a strong dog bet for me or whatever, but at the end of the day, this team just doesn't have it when it comes to having a really consistent season. The only consistent thing they're going to be doing is losing next year. So there it is. 30 teams, 30 days. Pittsburgh Pirates under 57.5 wins. That's my 2021 prediction for the old Bucs. All right, so you know what? You guys already know our proud sponsor, hackclub.com. You guys go check them out. You guys will get 10% off on any order that's $50 or better. Once again, that's $50 or better. You get 10% off at hackclub.com. So with that, we will be right back. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, and I'll be right back at you.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa. getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube. All right, we're back with the Primetime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DBICD Primetime Capper, and this is the premier sports betting show. All right, so here we are, day 2 of bracket talk, and I'm all by myself. But it's all good because you know who I am, the CBB guru, hoops guru. This has been happening for years, so pretty much this is my time of the year. So now let's just go ahead and I'm going to give you guys the gospel. All right, so up first, we're going to talk about Illinois versus Drexel. Drexel has not been in this tournament in over 25 years, but, you know, they had some good teams over the years, but they kept falling short in a very tough Colonial Conference. Then you have Illinois, who has stepped all the way back up and has found themselves back in the big picture of things in the NCAA. This team had been pretty mediocre for a good stretch in time, but now they've bolstered themselves all the way to the number 1 seed with the help of Ayo. And pretty much that kid is a Kobe Bryant fan from what we saw. He was doing the whole Kobe montage of winning a championship. So hopefully in his eyes, he can go ahead and raise up the one that matters most, the NCAA title. But Illinois is in a good position. They look to be the strongest team coming into the tournament, overall defense and offense. I know a lot of people are very in love with Gonzaga, but Gonzaga has not been challenged the same way that Illinois has been challenged throughout the season. Illinois had to deal with beating not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 top 10 teams in the Big Ten this year, and they were able to do their job in all those games. They absolutely wiped Michigan off the floor. So Illinois is at exactly where they want to be right now. This is a team to watch, and they are a team that you can ride all the way to the national title. But nothing is promised. You guys have to understand that part. But I know that they should be able to easily get past this first round game against Drexel. All right, so we move on to our next game. That's going to be Loyola-Chicago and Georgia Tech. Loyola-Chicago is kind of a sentimental team for me. I know that everybody was loving that run and everything like that. And as you guys know, that year I had a little bit of a medical situation, so I had to watch that literally watch the whole tournament from the hospital. And Loyola-Chicago was like the brightest spot every day. I couldn't wait for that team to play their games because they were playing such great basketball and at such a high level and everything like that. And they really brought back the good old execution of basketball where everything doesn't rely on a 3-point or an individual matchup, where teamwork actually shows up and can win you a game. They actually absolutely showed what that was all about. But they're going to have a very tough matchup here against a disrespected Georgia Tech team. I can't believe a team that was the 4 seed in the ACC tournament would be disrespected this highly going into the tournament after winning the championship as well too. I know they had a little cakewalk situation to the title game, but it does not matter. They still won the title game. So why would they be a 9 seed as if they were in the Mountain West or something of that nature? This is an ACC team that's getting disrespected at this point in time. I think Georgia Tech is going to take that as a motivation, and they're going to become the most dangerous team in this group, in my opinion. I think that Illinois has to be on the lookout if they have to go up against Georgia Tech. Now, Loyola-Chicago, I think that since it's going to be kind of a sentimental game and it's an interstate game, the boys from Champaign going against the boys from Chicago, I think what happens there is that the better team will go ahead and win that one. But with Georgia Tech and Illinois, the team that wants it more is going to be the team that wins that matchup, in my opinion. So we move forward, and let's go ahead and talk about Tennessee and Oregon State. And this is a battle of teams that wear orange jerseys, orange and white versus orange and black. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Those Oregon State shorts the other night that I saw on TV, they were so dope. So if somebody wants to bless me for my birthday, you guys can go ahead and send me a pair of those. Or somebody call somebody up at Nike, something. Look out for your boy. But those shorts were absolutely epic. And I think that pretty much Oregon State is a team that can be very tricky, and they're very hot coming into this tournament right now. Tennessee coming off of a bad loss. in the SEC tournament where they had a nice little lead against Alabama, but they blew it. I think Oregon State has the opportunity to get a big win here, but I don't think that they can go any further than this round right here. And I think that Tennessee will be ready to roll, and they're going to be a tough out regardless of anything. But Oregon State, with how hot they are right now, you can't discount their effort at all either. So we're going to see how it shakes out, and we'll just go from there. Pretty much number 5, Tennessee, and number 12, Oregon State, battle of the orange. All right, we move on, and we got the 4 seed Oklahoma State going against the number 13 seed Liberty. And Liberty is actually pretty much Liberty is a team that won last time out in the tournament, and they did very well. I had them. I bet them. And you know what? We had them at a plus 225, I think. So pretty much what happens with this group is that I really do feel like they could play a big part in getting a monster upset here. But OK State coming into the tournament red hot. They got themselves a very, very good freshman in Kay Cunningham as well, too. And Kay Cunningham is a guy that a lot of people have number 1 on their draft boards as well, too. And so we do expect him to have a big game, big moments, and things of that nature in this series. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how everything shakes out and goes from there. But all in all, though, I think that the 4 seed Oklahoma State is in a really good spot to get themselves a really big win here. And they're playing some of the best basketball of the season on their end as well, too. So we're going to see how it shakes out here in the Midwest Group 1. But all in all, I think that it's going to be an exciting weekend when it comes down to the series with these fellas. So with that, you guys can check out our sponsor, StacyAdams.com. StacyAdams.com got the LNK 10 going on. And pretty much this is drip and drip. So pretty much if you're going to, we're all about to be able to go outside again. So pretty much you guys hit up Stacy Adams, get that 10% off with the LNK10 promo code. You guys will get 10% off on any order that's $75 or better. Once again, that's going to be at StacyAdams.com. Use the promo code LNK10, and you guys will receive up to 10% on any $75 order or better. All right, so with that, we will be right back. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, and I'll be right back at you.
The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right, we are back with the Primetime Angles, the Premier Sports Betting Show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And let's get into Group 2 of the Midwest bracket. And we have San Diego State going against the Orange Men of Syracuse. They should just call this the Orange region because Clemson wears orange, Syracuse wears orange, Tennessee and Oregon State wear orange, and also OK State wears orange, and Illinois as well too. So literally, you have majority of the group that wears orange. And I know this has really nothing to do with anything that has to do with this tournament, but just know you're going to be seeing a whole lot of orange in the Midwest. All right, so Syracuse is going to come in here as the emotional favorite, but you cannot sleep on a San Diego State team that's only lost 4 games this season. They play great basketball. They got a good win over a UCLA team that pretty much is right here in the tournament as well too. But they have to play into the tournament. But regardless, though, that's still a good win against a power school. And they've played really good basketball all season. I just really don't know how they're going to respond to the zone. But if they can respond the right way to the zone and they step up their defense the way that it always is as with San Diego State, they should have a big shot at beating Syracuse. But Syracuse is in tournament mode. So teams like San Diego State, you are in a bad spot because Syracuse is right where they want to be. They're sitting right here as a number 11 seed, and they've done absolutely tremendous things as an 11 seed over the last few years. Now, when we look at it, there's a possibility that Syracuse can run the table all the way back to the Elite Eight this year. But we'll see how it goes. But San Diego State is going to be no slouch in this game. They're going to put it all out there on the floor as well, too. And I expect to have a awesome game between San Diego State and Syracuse on Friday. Now we have West Virginia and Morehead State. West Virginia and Morehead State, these two teams coming into the tournament. Both are I won't say sizzling, but they've been playing some pretty good basketball over the last few weeks, especially Morehead State getting that big win in their tournament where they were not the first seed as well, too. So pretty much West Virginia needs to be on the lookout because they known to be shaky in the first round as well, too. And I think Morehead State knows this, so they're going to come out here with their game face on. So we got to be ready for an absolute barn burner here with West Virginia and Morehead State. So we're going to see how it shakes out. We're going to see how it goes. But I think at the end of the day, Bobby Huggins is going to have enough to get his team to the next round. So I can picture a Syracuse, West Virginia 11-3 coming up Sunday. But we'll see how it goes, though, because San Diego State and West Virginia will be a great game as well, too. But I will not discount Morehead State. If they're able to get to Sunday, I don't see them getting past that day, but good for them if they can. All right, we have Clemson at Rutgers. That's going to be our 7-10, and pretty much you got a Clemson team that is coming in here very middling. You got a Rutgers team that barely made it into the tournament. They made it into the tournament because of earlier victories that they got against very good teams. But, you know, the last few weeks they've been struggling mightily. So pretty much with that, I do like Clemson, but I think Rutgers, by not being in this tournament the last 30 years, they haven't been in this tournament since 1991. That's incredible, to be that honest with you. And I think since they haven't been here in 30 years, they might want to stick around for a game or two. So I got Ron Harper Jr. leading the Scarlet Knights to a upset victory over Clemson come Friday night. So there it is, Clemson Rutgers. Let's see how it shakes out. Now, last but not least, we have the Houston Cougars going against the Cleveland State Vikings, and Cleveland State coming in as a 15 seed. And Cleveland State, last time they were in the tournament, they did very well. They had a future NBA player, Norris Cole, guiding the ship. And then they also had a guy that we're very familiar with here in my hometown, a guy by the name of a guy that played over at Pasadena High School. So pretty much that was pretty crazy to see that situation occur. And it was a very, very good team that year. And they were a 14 seed that year, and they landed all the way to the Sweet 16. So this time around, I think what happens here is that Cleveland State won't have that same magic that they had before. What happens here is that Houston's going to just be absolutely too much for them, and they should have a good, nice little face-off with Rutgers, in my opinion, come Sunday, and we'll see who wins that game, whoever wants it the most. All right, so with that that's going to be a wrap on our Midwest region. And pretty much you guys can go ahead and check out all these games on Fubo TV next week. So you guys go ahead and hit the link in the show description for Fubo TV, and you guys will receive 7 days free on me. So once again, you guys go ahead and check out Fubo TV. You get 7 days for free on me. You get all the sports you want. You get all the shows you want. You get all the movies you want. So check them out, Fubo TV, and that will be a very good program for you as well too, because also the thing is they only charge $55 a month once you say you want to move forward. And if you do not want to move forward anymore with them after having their service after a few months, you just say, hey, I don't want to have this anymore, and they'll just not they won't bill you. They'll just cut it off. No issues there, and everybody moves on about their day. So with that, we will be right back. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, and I'll be right back at you.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune into Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And boy, oh boy, let's get into it. We got the NBA preview for you, dog. And up first, we got ourselves the Jazz at the Celtics. And no, this isn't Celtic Pride. You guys remember that movie, Utah Jazz, Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals? That was imaginary in itself. I don't think we'll ever see a Utah Jazz Boston Celtics final. If we did, I think, to be dead honest with you, and this is no offense, I think this will probably be the lowest rated final you'll ever see in your life. Seriously, everybody will find something better to do than watch these two teams play. But if they have the star power, it don't matter. Now, if LeBron play for the Jazz, now it's a go. But if they still got the team they have now, Gobert and them, I think we'll all be passing on that one. All right, so the Celtics coming here +4 tonight, over under 227.5. You have a Jazz team that's actually struggling as of now because, you know, we had a team that won, 17 out of 18 games. They literally almost swept the month of March, month of February as well too. Now they're sitting over here 1-3 in the month of March, 6-4 in the last 10. So the Utah Jazz have cooled off. So, you know, that's what we said, that they just had a hot point in the season, but can you stay hot? That's the whole thing. All right, 6-4 in their last 10. That's not too bad, but a lot of their losses have came in their last, 5 games or so. But they're not having a good month to start. And then you have the Celtics, 3-1 in March, 5-5 in their last 10. Celtics are also movers and shakers right now. They are in the business of trying to go ahead and acquire LaMarcus Aldridge right now. So they're looking into that, and that's actually like their biggest focus right now, in my opinion. I think getting LaMarcus Aldridge there so then they can put this team in a different category than just teams chasing the Nets and the 76ers. All right, but all in all, though, they are playing good basketball right now. Be on the lookout. Jazz still 28-10. The Celtics are 20-18, and we'll see how it goes. but I think the Celtics have the advantage here because they're playing much better basketball at this point. All right, we move on to another doozy. We have the Cavs at the Heat, and the Cavs at the Heat, this should be a good one right here. We have the Cavs 14-24, and then we have the Heat that are 21-18. The Cavs are 1-3 in the month of March, 4-6 in their last 10. Then you have the Heat that are 4-1 in March and 9-1 in their last 10, and they've snuck all the way into the 4 seed as we speak. And they still do have Charlotte on their heels, but they have moved up to the 4 seed to where they have themselves where they're in a very good position now moving forward. But once again, that is going to be the Heat, who are 4-1 in March, 9-1 in their last 10. Now, our next game is going to be the Thunder at the Bulls. And the Thunder at the Bulls is going to be a really good one. You got a 5.5 point spread for the Bulls is the favorite, 225.5 on the over-under. Now you can go ahead and have the Thunder 3-2 in the month of March, and then 4-6 in their last 10. Bulls 2-3 in the month of March, 5-5 in their last 10. Now, what I see here is a dead even matchup, but I think at the end of the day, we have to lean towards who the team who wants it more or needs it more, what are they going to do? And I think the team that needs it more at this point in time will be the Chicago Bulls because they're playing for a playoff spot still as well, too. OKC at the same time, they need it as well, but OKC seems like they're in a rebuilding phase for the next few years with all the draft picks that they've acquired over the last few years as well, too. So we'll see how it goes, but all in all, though, this should be a really good game tonight under the radar. So we'll see how it shakes out. Under 225.5, minus 5.5 to the favorite, the Chicago Bulls. Let's see where it goes. All right, we move forward, and let's go ahead and talk about the Knicks at the 76ers. The Knicks are coming in here 20-20, with the 76ers being 27-12. The Knicks are 2-2 in the month of March, 6-4 in their last 10. 76ers are 5-0 in the month of March, 8-2 in their last 10. Now, what happens here is that you have a 76ers team that's -7 and an over-under at 217.5. I think that this is going to be a scoreboard watching game, to be honest with you, and I think that it's going to be a lot of points scored in this game, to be honest. So pretty much the Knicks and 76ers, let's see how it shakes out. Let's see how it goes from here. But I think this will be one of the better games of the night after seeing what happened with the Knicks and the Nets last night. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the end, and that's going to be with the Blazers and the Pelicans. The Pelicans coming in here 17-22, while the Blazers are 22-16. The Pelicans are 3-2 in the month of March and 5-5 in their last 10. The Blazers are 4-2 and were 4-2 in March, 4-6 in their last 10. You have to understand, this team lost 4 games in a row before we got to the month of March. So pretty much there it is with the Blazers. That's why their record's looking like that at this moment. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good game in the Northwest tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and check out Talkin Tickets. And with the Talkin Ticket segment, we have the Celtics as our dog of the day. And I really do feel good about the Celtics today as our dog of the day. I think that they can clean up and make us some money, all right? And then we have the under 218 Knicks 76ers. This is another good spot for us tonight. I think that this game does stay under. We all know that the Knicks have one of the better defenses in the league, and they've had a lot of games stay under 100 this year, and I think that this could be one of them as well, too. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. Under 218, Knicks 76ers. Then we got the plus 10.5 on the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers coming into this game kind of struggling, but kind of not struggling, just going through the motions and being who they are supposed to be. And I pretty much do think that what happens here is that they can go ahead and get themselves a cover today with the plus 10.5. Then we got the over 225 with the Thunder and the Bulls. I think that this is very hittable because they got players that are just looking for their points all day long in this game as well, too. So the over 225 should be a hittable bet. We'll see how it shakes out. And then last but not least, we got the Blazers money line tonight, minus 125. Let's see how it shakes out. 30-1 ticket, single what you like, and we roll from there. All right, so you guys, if you need somewhere to bet out, go where the world bets at. YouWager. Go ahead and put in the promo code POP80, and you guys will receive up to 50% on a match deposit. So if that means they give up if you put up 250, they'll put up 125 in a free play. You go ahead and use that, cash out on that, let it roll over for like a week or two, and then boom, go get your money. All right, so pretty much it is what it is at the end of the day. Always bet with your head, not with your heart. This is the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, and I'll be right back at you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have our Wednesday guy in, Mike Abadir. Okay, so you guys make sure to tune in, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production